constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1.
Line drive to the base. Just as the score of the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Had reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is goodbye. Big World Series victory. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Back to throw. There's a long drive. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them away from their faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins. Here's the pitch to Willie.
There's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. This is goodbye. Home run.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, are you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of the show. I am indeed Dan Scott. Very happy to have you with us. Hope that your day is off to a good start. If it is, we'll try not to mess it up. If not, maybe over the course of the next 60 minutes or so, we can provide a little bit of a lift for you, with the ultimate goal being to learn something that we did not know. And again, for a lot of us, that is easier than it is for others. How have you been? Haven't talked to you in this format since Thursday because of a number of reasons. And just in the interest of full disclosure, as baseball season goes on, it's going to be like that. Some weeks will be 5 shows. Some weeks may only be 3, depending on travel and some other things. Or like yesterday, when after a full week of multiple broadcasts, I just unplugged and didn't do anything, rested my voice, stayed home, and tried to get caught up on a little bit of rest and some things that needed to be done there. And I say I unplugged. I did from the on-the-air stuff, but I also took some steps towards what eventually is going to be a big, big thing that's going to help this show grow even further, which I'll talk about here in just a little bit. But in any event, coming off of a busy weekend, a weekend full of college baseball, which included a rare Sunday off. Matter of fact, it'll be back-to-back Sundays off, and I think 3 out of 4, if you count not playing on Easter Sunday, as Furman never does. It is a rarity to have Sundays off in the college baseball realm, which is good because the folks at church will be reacquainted with me and not be questioning my membership when I show back up, not giving me visitors badges as often as maybe they do during most baseball seasons. But still, it was a tremendously busy week if you flash back to the Saturday before, when we had Southern Conference tournament opening up and went baseball, basketball on both Saturday and Sunday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday baseball, and then Friday, Saturday at Fluor Field. So just kind of unplugged a little bit yesterday, although again, and I'll explain in a minute that I did do some things that are going to be very beneficial to what we're trying to do here moving forward. But I hope that you've had a great week. The NCAA tournament brackets are out as always. It's generated a lot of discussion. Most discussion that I've seen has been how awful people thought that the TBS selection show was. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I didn't watch it. I was otherwise occupied on Sunday. So I did not watch the selection show, but my Twitter feed was just absolutely inundated with people, not just local people, but I'm talking national people who've covered college basketball for years, who were just lambasting the folks at TBS for taking something that has been a proven formula and completely shaking it up and doing something totally different with it. And people did not like it. They did not like it at all. I'll be very interested to see maybe some of your reaction as we go on. Today, of course, tonight is the first 4. You know, we have a 68-team bracket now, and they'll play those games tonight. That'll get us down to the 64-team bracket that'll start on Thursday. So to that end, I never pick the bracket until the first 4 are done, or if I do, you know, obviously I don't include whoever wins those games is going to go play a top seed and end up getting beat anyway. But my operating theory with brackets is I put zero thought into them, and I always pick them live on the air. I never bet. I never wager. It's always for entertainment purposes only. I do it to have fun. And to that end, on Thursday, ahead of the beginning of all the games, with zero research, I'm going to pick my bracket live on the air. I mean, literally, I'm not looking at it until then. I don't know who really is in what region so much. I know who the top seeds are and some of the stuff. But as far as trying to do the analysis and breakdown, and I think this team can make a run and that team can make a run. I don't do that. I pick it live on the air, let you ridicule my picks, and we go from there. That's usually the way things work. That's the way I operate. So that'll be coming up on Thursday's show, and we'll try to have some graphics to go along with it for you on the screen, or maybe a big whiteboard or something that I can hold up here and make the picks as we go along. If maybe a stand-up easel. If I stand up, am I still going to be in the screen? Yeah, for the most part, I think so. We'll make something work anyway. But we'll do that on Thursday, have a little fun with it. And, of course, the games all begin on Thursday in the early afternoon, the main part of the tournament. So we'll talk about that a little bit and go from there. Coming up on the show today, Billy Davis will join us at 10:25. He's got a tremendously funny story that just goes to show how long people's memories are and what the internet can do to help supplement those memories. It happened to him just last week in Omaha, Nebraska. It's a hilarious story. He'll also go off the sports page a little bit and give us a firsthand report from the Billy Graham funeral, because he was there working security for Franklin Graham and the family. So he'll have some thoughts there. He sent me a great picture, by the way. I may try to get it up here. It's a picture that I'm going to cherish. It's because it's one that he took from the site, and it is the procession coming out of the library to the tent where the funeral was going to be held. The pallbearers carrying the casket of Billy Graham. And if you know anything about the Billy Graham Library, the big building that the museum part of it is in, the entranceway is a giant cross. And the photo is the procession coming out of that with the cross in the background. It is a wonderful picture, and one that I will cherish forever, and thank Billy for doing that. But anyway, he's going to join us at 10:25, talk about that, tell us this hilarious story that dates back to his playing days and has a tie-in to today. So we'll get that done, and a lot more. A lot going on here on campus, and including some women's basketball still yet to be played for Jackie Carson's team. So we've got a lot to get into today, and we're looking forward to doing it. We start, as always, by reminding you the show is brought to you by our friends at the Atlanta Bread Company. They are located in Cherrydale Plaza in downtown Greenville, Cherrydale Plaza, right down the road from campus. I'm getting ahead of myself on something here. But fantastic food, even better people, and they have made such a wonderful commitment to this show, and appreciate what they've done. Jeff and his folks, they are fantastic. So I urge you, I was there for dinner with Angela last night, as a matter of fact, and have my usual fantastic experience. Go see them. Please take time. This is important with all of our sponsors. Take time to tell them, hey, I'm here because I heard you on the Dan Scott Show. That is more important than you'll realize. So do that. Thank them for what they do for the program, and enjoy the great food that they have as well. The Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Plaza, here in Greenville, just down the road from campus. When we come back, we will get into some baseball preview. Furman and Winthrop coming up tonight, and we'll do that on the other side. Dan Scott Show continues right after this.
Holding, number 79, defense, first down. I'm also holding a party tonight.
Great call by the official. Looks like we've got another flag on the field.
Holding, a Pepsi. Necessary refreshment.
Hey, Ted, bring some of that Pepsi to my party.
Pepsi and the NFL. Welcome to the Fun Doesn't End Zone.
The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherrydale Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new Shrimp Po' Boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville. When the Furman baseball team goes on the road, it travels safely, comfortably, and with the latest technology with Jeans Tours and Charters. Jeans has been a Furman favorite for decades and has serviced Furman baseball for over 20 years. Take it from head coach Brett Harker. Book your next road trip with Jeans. Jeans Tours and Charters, online at jeansbussvc.com or call 864-242-1673. Jeans Tours and Charters, servicing the upstate since 1980.
If you've been sidelined by an injury, the St. Francis Sports Medicine team is here 24/7 to get you back on the field. Our highly trained network of physicians, athletic trainers, and physical therapists treat all types of sports-related injuries, even those that don't occur from playing a sport. Call the St. Francis Hurt Line at 675-HU-RT for priority appointments or at-home advice. Again, that's 675-HU-RT.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
Still waiting as Fisher comes set, the 1-0. And a ground ball base hit into center field. Waving around the runner is Harbin. Griffith will score standing up. It's a 6-4 ball game. Hi, welcome back as we continue here on this edition of the Dan Scott Show. I am Dan. Glad to have you with us. Just a quick word about our friends at the Walk a Mile Project. It's a 501c3 nonprofit humanitarian aid organization whose goal is to organize, build, encourage, and invest in ways to meet the physical needs of impoverished communities around the world. What do? Well, they encourage and equip groups on how to go, how to prepare for a trip, how to form a trip, how to raise funds for that trip, and then once you get there, how to do, as in how to build houses, feed a village, conduct medical clinics, fresh water. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Heath Burdett and his folks there do a fantastic job. You see the website, thewhamproject.org, thewhamproject.org. That's the Walk a Mile Project. Find out ways you can partner with them, you can help them, or if you'd like them to help equip you for a mission trip, then give them a call or check out their website today. All right, Furman and Winthrop coming up tonight at 6 p.m. up in Rock Hill. Get to see a couple of old friends, our buddy Tom Reginas, who was an assistant coach at Clemson all the years I was there. He was with Jack Leggett. He left to take the Winthrop job about the time that I came over here and has done a fine job with the Eagles program. It's going to be entertaining to see these teams get together. Also get to see my buddy Bob Woodward. Bob Woodard. Talk about a walking miracle. This time last year, Bob, he's the broadcaster, by the way, for Winthrop. This time last year, there was serious doubts as to whether he would be alive now. And yet through a lot of prayer, a lot of intervention and medical science, he is here and is healthy and is doing well. And I am really, really looking forward to seeing him when we get over there today for that matchup. It'll be the first of 5 games this week for the Paladins. It is going to be a heck of a stretch. And the uniqueness of the schedule is that you play tonight, you're off Wednesday, and then single games Thursday and Friday, and then a doubleheader on Saturday. All 4 of those games against Harvard, no Sunday game. So is it going to stretch the pitching? Absolutely. It's going to stretch the pitching. John Michael Bertrand, who last we saw last week, pitched 4 1/3 innings of relief in the Tuesday win over Penn, will get his first career start tonight, the redshirt freshman, against the Eagles up in Rock Hill. And then this weekend, it is, as far as I know, at the moment anyway, it is slated to be Trent Alley and Grant Sherman and Matt Lazaro and Nick Verbeck. Those will be the 4 that get the start. And you go back to this past weekend after playing midweek games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then coming back and playing Friday night and beating Michigan State by a 3-2 count. Get down to Illinois and start to rally. And that score in the bottom, that clip you heard just a moment ago, was from the bottom of the 7th inning, in which Furman scored 3 times, I believe, to make it a 6-4 ball game, and had a lot of momentum in their direction as they had gotten into the Illini bullpen. And then things got away in the final 2 innings as Brett Harker went to some guys who have not pitched a whole lot of innings, very many at all, in fact, combined this year. And I know there was some head scratching going on, but you have to remember they had played 3 previous games. That was the 4th game in a 5-day period. The bullpen had been taxed a bit already. You have 5 games coming up this week, and you're going to start John Michael Bertrand, so you can't use him in relief. You still have a couple of injury issues that are ongoing. Jonathan Mao is unavailable. Jake Crawford at the moment is only playing third base. Heath Hawkins, who is supposed to be back this weekend, if everything went well with his bullpen session yesterday, he told me personally that he expects to be back pitching out of the bullpen for Harvard. But you don't have any of those guys, so it was just a matter of kind of running out of the top flight arms that you have available coming out of the bullpen. Because remember, again, with Crawford out of the rotation, Nick Verbeck has moved from the bullpen in. Hunter Baker is still not ready to go. So, I mean, it's a succession of things that took place. That's why you saw what you saw in the 8th and 9th inning against Illinois on Saturday. And look, how does Brett Harker look at these things? He tells us all the time. He's sat in this chair and told us. He's told us on pregame. He's told us in postgame. Guys get opportunities. Opportunity is going to come your way over the course of a season for one reason or another. And it's the ability to take advantage of those opportunities that's going to get you more time, whether it's on the mound, whether it's at the plate, in the field, whatever the case may be. Specifically, though, we're talking about pitching right now. And there was a succession of guys who came in, Ruddy Jones and Drew Holweger, and I'm leaving out somebody who came out of the bullpen, who got an opportunity there and kind of let it slip away a little bit. So just a lesson learned that the next time those things come around, you be ready to go. And you do well. And how do you do it? Well, you perform well in your bullpen sessions, which gets you midweek innings, which maybe gets you some weekend innings. That's kind of the natural progression. But opportunities are going to come along, and you've got to be willing and able to grab those opportunities when they get there. And you know what? I had a conversation with someone a couple of days ago. We were talking about this specific issue. And if you are a competitor, if you have any competitive fire in you at all, getting your brains beat in when you come in out of the bullpen, it is going to do one of two things to you. If you're a competitor, it's going to absolutely light a fire under your rear end to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Or if you're not, it's going to kind of cause you to go back into your shell and just kind of be along for the ride. So it'll be intriguing to see, as it is every year with young players and with veteran players sometimes, when adversity strikes, how do they perform? How do they react more than that? It was a very interesting conversation from someone who has coached high school age kids for a long, long time. And he and I were kind of on the same wavelength with this thing that, you know, if a couple of these guys are as competitive as we think they are, then some of the things that have happened are going to serve as nothing more than lighting a fire under their rear ends, and that can only be good for the program moving forward. But anyway, as we get back to what is at stake today and the rest of this week, 5 games in 5 days with 1 day off and a doubleheader. So it's going to be incumbent upon the starters to give this team as many innings as possible, and it's going to be incumbent upon guys when they're called on out of the bullpen to be effective so no one is overused and overstretched. It's going to be a very interesting time for this team. And this whole month, you remember we talked about this month of March, 18 games in the month of March, 14 of them home games, if you count the games at Fluor Field as home, which Furman always does. Whether it's that way in the stat line or not, it's still, that's an extension of Latham Stadium. So you have a chance to really get well and to make some headway. And for the most part, so far, so good. This is going to be a big week. It's got one of those 4 true road games. The other 3 are next weekend at Wichita State. But it starts with one of the 4 true road games and then a 4-game series against Harvard at home. You've got a chance now to really start building some momentum heading into the conference season, which begins at the end of this month when Samford comes in. So this is going to be a big, big week. It's going to be a week in which the pitching is going to be tested, it's going to be taxed, and it's going to be stretched. And I can't wait to see how these young men respond. I really can't. It's going to be fun. By the way, broadcast-wise, all of our normal outlets plus Fox Sports 1440 will be with us tonight and for the opener of the series with Harvard on Thursday. So our flagship station will be joining us for both of those broadcasts. So we look forward to that. 5:45 pregame and 6 o'clock first pitch, Furman at Winthrop tonight in Rock Hill. All right, when we come back, Billy Davis joins us on the other side. Dan Scott Show continues in just a moment.
Hey, Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
Life's healthier when you're backed by a Greenville Health System primary care doctor. Because then, the doctor that has your back is backed by the more than 1,000 physicians and specialists at the region's leading health system, all working together to bring you the right care in the right place at the right time. Great health starts with a GHS primary care doctor, and there are more than 200 of them conveniently located throughout the upstate, ready to see you. Find yours today at ghs.org/mydoctor.
Zaxby's food has always brought people together, catering to the big moments, the little wins, the long talks, and the quick getaways. Because food this inviting is bound to add a lot of flavor to your life.
Introducing the Zax Pack. Served with chicken fingers, sides, Texas toast, and iced tea. Pick one up for dinner or your next event. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
I was surprised recently when I learned that Americans spend $80 billion a year on illegal sports gambling. Sure, that's spread out over millions of gamblers, but still it makes you wonder where that money's coming from. Unfortunately, too often it's coming from money that was intended to buy groceries, pay the mortgage, or even put children through college. If gambling's had a negative impact on your life, call the SC Gambling Hotline toll-free at 877-452-5155. Help is confidential and available 24 hours a day. A message from the South Carolina Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services.
All right, we are back. It is 10:27, and good to have you with us as we continue on this Tuesday edition of the program. Quick word about my friends at Security Complete. They are located here in the upstate. The base is Liberty, but, man, they service everywhere. You know the story. I have switched from the company I was with to Security Complete. And again, the original company was a locally owned company. And then it was bought out by a big corporation. And I was not happy with the service I was getting. So I searched around and I found Security Complete, locally owned. The installation, the service, all that's going to be done by people you know. No subcontracting out to other people. They have a combined 40 years of industry experience. The systems are customer owned, and combine that with the fact they have the latest technology. It all equals low overhead, which in turn equals more savings for you, the customer. And then the two other kickers, the monitoring rates are significantly less per month than the competition. And oh, by the way, no contracts. You're going to purchase the equipment, and then you're on a month-to-month deal. So if you don't like the service, you'll be able to shop and go somewhere else. But I'm telling you, you're going to love the service. Here's what I like about it. If by some happenstance I set off the alarm, whether it's by accident or on purpose, or if something, God forbid, were to happen, with the big company that bought out my company, I got it from an 800 number. I thought it was a telemarketer when I set it off accidentally. I just didn't answer the phone. Next thing I know, I'm on the road. My wife's calling me and said, hey, the sheriff's at our house. So we had to go through all that. I know now the monitoring the monitoring system is in Charlotte. So I'm either going to get a message on my phone that says Security Complete, or it's going to come from a 704 area code number. I know exactly where it's coming from and don't have to worry about it. The people who install it and service it are right here in the upstate. The monitoring center is in Charlotte. You are well taken care of by people you can trust. Find out more. They're on Facebook under Security Complete, or you can call 864-546-0360. And please tell them you heard about them right here on the show. All right, we are going to the celebrity guest line now. And speaking of security, how's that for a segue? Billy Davis joins us here. He was in high-level security once upon a time and is again in the latest step in his life. And, oh, by the way, played football and baseball at Clemson and was an 81 national champion with the Tigers, is joining us here as he does when the schedule allows. How you doing, buddy?
Great, Dan. Thanks for having me on. And, just to dovetail on that security system thing, I'd highly recommend anyone out there listening to purchase a security system for your home. We've had one. Obviously, in my line of work, I had to have one for obvious reasons, but I've had a security system in our residence for almost 30 years. So whatever that may be, and it sounds like Security Complete is a good company.
Yeah,
but that's just a little personal advice.
Well, and it's kind of funny coming from a guy who in effect is a security system for his home, but the fact that you feel like you need a security system for your home, I think speaks volumes. So there we go.
Yeah, well, I traveled so much.
Yep.
And, as a Secret Service agent, I arrested a lot of people and testified in front of grand juries and put people in federal prison for a long time. And so you never want to, when you're out traveling around like I was around the world, you want to make sure that your family is safe and, the local law enforcement folks can get there quickly and or EMS, whatever the case may be. So it's a really people spend a lot of money on different things. I'm not sure how much that is a month, but folks will go out and they'll go out to dinner one night and drop a bunch of money on dinner on one night, but that probably is less than what it would cost you for monitoring for the whole month. And it's just a peace of mind that you get. But anyway, so much for that. Just helping you out there.
I appreciate it. I mean, what better recommendation could you have than one from a former Secret Service agent with the United States government? So anyway, how you been? It's been a couple of weeks. Everything good?
Everything's fantastic. Just been traveling. We had Dr. Graham's lie and honor up in D.C., and then the funeral, of course, was a week ago Friday, and that went very well. The family was pleased, and it's never easy to say goodbye to a loved one, but we all know where Reverend Graham is right now, and we're very happy for that. So
yeah, I got to tell you, and I mentioned this in our opening segment of the program, the fact that you sent me a photo that you took of the funeral procession coming out of the library. And as I explained to people who may not be familiar with it, the library, the museum opening the entryway is a giant cross. So you have the procession coming out, the pallbearers with the casket, and the large cross in the background. That's a photo that I'm going to keep and I'm going to cherish for a long time, because if that's not ultimately a final word on who Billy Graham was in life, nothing is.
Yeah, it was just awe-inspiring to be there, just to be even just a tiny little part of it, to be in that presence of a godly man like that. So
what
really,
was the day like from a, strictly speaking, from a security standpoint?
Well, credit to the Charlotte Mecklenburg County Police Department and the U.S. Secret Service and all the other law enforcement entities that have been involved in the planning and preparation for Dr. Graham's funeral for years, not to mention the folks at the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, who did a fantastic job of planning it. So the day of was, it's like anything else in life. It was almost like a football game. Once the game starts, your preparation and your game planning hopefully goes into place, and you don't have time to worry about things. You just work. And so, of course, with President Trump and Vice President Pence being there, the Secret Service was on the ground full force from D.C. a week previous to the funeral. So everything was really locked down tight. So I felt like I was back. Well, a lot of my contemporaries and guys that I'd worked for years were there at the funeral, and so I felt like I was, back in a duck back in water again, as far as knowing the procedures and protocols that went on. So it went off flawlessly, and I don't believe the Secret Service gets nearly enough credit for what they do on a day-to-day basis. I can say that now as an alumni, and they were extremely professional and extremely caring, and always deferred to the needs of the family, and true professionals, which they always are. And sometimes I think the only time the Secret Service gets in the news is when things don't go right. You can be right 999 times, and one time something doesn't go right, that's when they're in the news. The silent professionals. So anyway, it went well.
Oh, good. I'm just sitting here. I had this thought. It was not a humorous situation, but I had this humorous thought, as you being a former Secret Service guy, and the Secret Service being on the ground the week before and everything, because the president is coming in. Did you have to get vetted by the Secret Service in order to?
I actually did.
Yeah. Sick. There you go. How about that?
Yeah, no, yeah, you get vet. You have to run your name and everything else. It's just that's how thorough the service is. There's a PIN system, identification system, and they've had in place for years. And for me to have access, as we would call, within arm's length of the president or the vice president, that PIN that gives you access, you have to be name checked, and they just don't hand them out. So they actually had to run my name again. And I've been gone for 2 years. I understand the process. It kind of gives me a chuckle, because everybody I would see, would hug half the people that I would see and high five them and fist bump them, but I still had to be running just because those are the procedures in place. Yeah.
I just had this mental image of you doing that, greeting your friends and the high fives and the hugs, and you took one step toward the president, and all of a sudden you had 15 guns that were pointed at you, like,
Yeah.
Hey, we love you, man, but step back, that kind of thing.
Stay away. Yeah. So anyway, it was a celebration of his life and his legacy, and it was just an awe-inspiring time to be there. And what more can you say than just what a great man, and how he affected so many lives in a positive way. And it was just life is interesting how it works, and how my life over the years has worked to get me to be in the position to help the Graham family out in the little way that I could with security measures. And I felt like sometimes I felt like my 27-year Secret Service career was just in preparation to be a part of that. And that was it's a really cool feeling to have.
Yeah. We are visiting with Billy Davis, the former U.S. Secret Service agent, former Clemson 2 sports star, currently works security for the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. All right, so I gotta get to this story, because this harkens back and it takes us back into the world of sports. But you were in Omaha with Franklin Graham for a fundraiser. What, last week?
Yes, sir. I flew in. Yeah, Dan. I flew in Wednesday, and Reverend Graham was speaking at the Assure Women's Center, which is a women's center there in Omaha that counsels women that are pregnant and are struggling with what to do, basically in the business of saving lives, keeping women from having abortions. And so Reverend Lamb, so I did that. So I flew out early Wednesday morning, and I landed in Omaha about 10:30. So I went to the Embassy Suites and Conference Center in La Vista, Nebraska, which is outside of Omaha. It's in between. Anybody who's been out that way, it's directly in between Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska. And Lincoln is the state capital and is also home to the University of Nebraska. So La Vista is about 40 miles east of Lincoln. So anyway, I met with this lady who was in charge of the staff end of the event, expecting about 1,800 people at this event. And so we're chit-chatting and walking through the event and the venues and different meeting rooms, so on and so forth, arrival areas. And she asked me where I was from. I said, I'm from Virginia. And she said, oh, and did you go to school in Virginia? I said, no, I went to college at Clemson, and I played football and baseball there a long time ago. And that's the only thing I said. And she didn't say any more about my background or anything else. And she said, oh, that's interesting. Well, Clemson has a great football program. You guys are having some awesome years lately. I said, yeah, they really are. I'm really proud of what they're doing. So we concluded our meetings and walkthroughs, and I said, well, I'll give you a yell tomorrow when we're heading from the airport to the event. And so Reverend Graham landed, and I texted her and let her know we were on the way. And so we arrived at our designated arrival point and walked in the doors, and she was standing there with about 5 other people. And man, I felt like I got ambushed. I walked in, and she looked at me, and she pointed her finger, and she said, you. And I kind of took me back. I said, what? She goes, you. I go, what do you mean? She goes, if it wasn't for you, Nebraska would won the national championship in 1981. I was like, whoa, a second. I said, I just had a little part in that. She goes, no. I saw the article. I saw the video, and I remember that game. And I was like, hey. And then Reverend Graham was laughing. I was like, hey, hold on a second. That was 36 years ago. I said, come on. So then another couple guys walked up to me, Nebraska fans, and they did the same thing to me. I mean, she had circled the wagons, and I felt like I was a General Custer at Little Bighorn. I mean, I got ambushed by 4 or 5 Nebraska fans, for something that happened 36 years ago. So it was unbelievable. I mean,
isn't it funny the memory that people have about things like that all this time later, and then the internet is able to help them research. I'm sure they saw the punt return, and I'm sure they saw this, and I can't believe this guy's here.
Yeah, well, and then so I'm standing there watching over Reverend Graham. He's in a photo line, and a grip and grin, as we would call it. And this gentleman, very distinguished gentleman in a very nice suit with a big Nebraska lapel pin, red hand.
Mm-hmm.
He walked up and he says, so you're the guy. And I was like, yes, sir. I knew exactly where he was going. He goes, I was at that game. He goes, I remember that. And he goes, and he was about 55% joking and about 45% serious. I think that he was on the board of regents right now for the University of Nebraska. He handed me his business card, but that's what makes sports so great. Is you're talking about something that happened 4 decades ago. I mean, it's forever, 36 years. And people are bringing it up to me like it happened last week or, back January 1st of 2018. So that's what makes especially college athletics great in a place like, University of Nebraska, where the fans are so passionate and they care so much about, especially Big Red football, that, you run into people that remember that game like it was yesterday. And I thought you'd get a chuckle out of it because Reverend Graham thought it was funny. And he really didn't have any idea of the background on that either. I had to explain to him. I said, sir, this is what we did. And, so, but people are funny, man. It's, sports can bring out the best and the worst in people. They were, like I said, I think they were about 50-50 on joking and being serious. So that's where we left it. But it was all handshakes and good vibes after that, of course.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it really is amazing if you stop and think about it, that all these years later that just a passing comment. Yes, I played at Clemson. That somebody would go back and look that up and and then come to the event the next day and then say, "Oh, you're the guy."
You're the guy. I remember, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I thought, it was, but that's the good thing I believe about, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet and the World Wide Web and all that, but I think that's a good thing that. Because in years previous, people could fabricate a lot of things and say, I did this and I did that and I was part of this. And now people just can, Google. You know what I tell people now? I said, you know what? Just Google Billy Davis Clemson. I said, just get it over with, because it's good. So you can find out, and because they'll ask you 1,000, and now people do. They'll just go and do research on you. So, which is it's a good fail safe. So it's the stuff is out there. But I thought it was a great story, and that is my that's my Clemson legacy, which is, I guess, is a good thing. I am certainly proud of it, and I know this is a Furman radio station, but I'm sure there's folks out there that are listening, Ryan, that are probably Clemson and Furman fans.
And so. I think more to the point, they're sports fans, and we all have those things that we remember. For instance, as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and the Super Bowl in January of 1989. You're 37 seconds away from winning before Joe Montana hits John Taylor. So if I with that game-winning touchdown, of all people, not Jerry Rice. He throws it to John Taylor. So if I'm running to John Taylor, he says, "Oh yeah, I used to play for the 49ers, and you're the guy."
Oh yeah.
So so I think the reason I wanted you to tell the story is because I think as sports fans we can all appreciate it. There's something in there that resonates with all of us, because we all have those moments where our favorite teams fell short on something. And you remember the time, the moment. You remember where you were. You might even be able to remember what you were wearing, what you were eating at the time. And it's funny, Billy. There are even certain smells that'll come along. It's a certain smell will come along sometimes if I'm at a stadium or something, and it will trigger a memory. The human mind is a very complex thing, and the way that we use it sometimes is a fascinating case study.
Oh, well, yeah. When you say smells, it's funny. I can walk on the field of Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina on a September afternoon and smell the combination of grass and the paint on the field, and the smell of the new uniforms and where the helmets smell and the footballs. It brings back, it gives me goosebumps. Or, a baseball field, walking out and smelling a baseball glove and the baseball itself, and a little pine tar mixed in with some tobacco juice and even some bubble gum, and all those smells and the dirt and all that comes back to you. And the smells, it brings back a lot. It's weird, but you're right. It's so complex, but it brings back all those memories. And sports brings out such an emotional, visceral side of people that I think that's what appeals, because we live our lives in the day-to-day existence can be mundane sometimes. But whatever your favorite sports team is, whether it's the Bengals or the Reds or the Clemson Tigers or the South Carolina Gamecocks, that gets the blood pumping and that gets the emotions going. And the colors seem to be brighter. The smells seem to be more intense. The sounds seem to be louder and that you really feel like you're alive. And I think that's why a lot of people like to experience that.
Yeah, and the difference for most of us is that we're viewing it from the fans' perspective, and yet you have the unique situation of having lived it and being the center of a lot of fans' perspectives of that particular game or that particular era of football. And just, I just wonder, do you still get a kick out of it after all these years? Does it get tiresome when people do things like that? I know it doesn't happen every day, but
no, absolutely. I never get tired of it. It's like you're being gracious enough to let me be on your program for 20 minutes, a half an hour every couple of weeks, because it makes me feel, halfway relevant. And it's good that you had that kind of positive and or negative impact on people. They actually remember what you did. Because as an athlete at the collegiate and the NFL level, and 2 sports in Clemson and in high school where I played 3 sports, and you sacrifice a lot. I mean, it's a great honor to put on that uniform with the big white tiger paw on it, or the C on your ball cap. But the fact of the matter is, you sacrifice a lot as a young man going through to be able to do that. And so, you're doing things when other kids are at the beach or other kids are out doing whatever they're doing, goofing around. You're in the gym working out, or you're catching fly balls up against the fence, or you're taking VP, or you're catching punts. My dad used to punt to me when I was in high school. He'd punt till his leg got tired. I would just catch ball after ball after ball after ball when other kids are out riding skateboards or bikes or hanging out at the 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice to have some kind of even though it was 4 decades ago, I remember you doing that. Sure, everyone likes to be appreciated. Yeah, it never gets old one bit. Not just it gets the older we get at 56. It's nice to hear the compliments,
Yeah.
and especially for Clemson, because the place means how much Clemson University means to me.
Right.
So to go back and have one person remember, it gives you a good feeling. So
yeah, and of course you're getting to that age of your life now, Billy, where the older you get, the better you were. So
absolutely, we all were. Yeah, we're all yeah. Sure. I mean that's the case. You go back to Clemson, everybody was an All-American.
Yeah.
It's just the way, and but that's how life works. But like it's say, when you have more sand in at the bottom of the hourglass than you do at the top of the hourglass. That's how things end up working.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, and ain't nobody coming to flip that bad boy over either.
Nope, not at all.
Ain't gonna happen. Hey, listen, thank you for the time. As always, I greatly appreciate it. What's the schedule look like moving forward?
I'm in town for a couple of weeks, and then we have I have to go to Portugal. The first week of April, right after Easter. Okay. We have a festival in Lisbon, Portugal. So I'll be around if you need it. And that package I was talking about, I put it in the mail to you on Sunday, so it should be.
Oh, nice.
It should be down to you in the next day or two.
Yeah,
at the
good.
Latest.
And
all right.
And I'll have one heading back your way before this week is up, if all goes according to plan.
Cool. Yeah, enjoy that, because I took a lot of pleasure of finding those things.
I will, and I won't say anything about them until they get here. But then I'll share it with our audience.
Oh, good. That sounds great. All right, man.
All right, brother.
Have a good week.
All right, you
Thanks.
too.
Bye-bye.
That is Billy Davis, the former Clemson standout, former U.S. Secret Service agent. And I just thought you guys would appreciate that story, because we all have those memories. We all have those things associated with our favorite sports teams that did not go the way we wanted it to. Big moments. And you can always point back to something that happened in that game, that if this had happened, if this guy had done this, I just thought that was a pretty neat story. Before we go out to break, a word about our friends at Hall's Chop House. They are located downtown Greenville, right beside the 7 on Main Studios. They do such great work with steak. Allen Brothers Prime Steaks. It's just salivating thinking about it here. The food is awesome. The people are even better. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, and I can't stress this enough, that somehow, some way, when they're running 350, 450 people a night through this place, they have the ability to make you feel like you're the most important person there when you're there. It's incredible. And it's a credit to Billy, and it's a credit to his staff and how they go about their business. Open 7 nights a week for dinner. Open for brunch on Sundays. It's Hall's Chop House. Live music every time the doors are open. Downtown Greenville. They are the Greenville Steakhouse. Please tell them you heard about them here on the show. All right, one more break. We'll come back, and we'll put a wrap on things on this edition of the Dan Scott Show right after this. Don't go away. The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherry Dell Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new Shrimp Po' Boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville.
Hey Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
Life's healthier when you're backed by a Greenville Health System primary care doctor. Because then, the doctor that has your back is backed by the more than 1,000 physicians and specialists at the region's leading health system, all working together to bring you the right care in the right place at the right time. Great health starts with a GHS primary care doctor, and there are more than 200 of them conveniently located throughout the upstate, ready to see you. Find yours today at ghs.org/mydoctor.
All right, welcome back to the show. I am Dan Scott. Good to have you with us as we continue. Thanks again to Billy Davis for joining us, and look forward to getting to talk with him over the course of the next couple of weeks before his next excursion out of the country. Also look forward to talking to you about OpSource Staffing, connecting lives for the better. OpSource is an independent, faith-based, privately held staffing, recruiting, and workforce management company that began in 2007 with a mission to serve and connect great people to great companies. With OpSource, it's all about the relationship and not the transaction. They believe that by building relationships, they will become an integral part of your overall staffing experience. They also provide managed services division that offers on-site managed programs for companies who use a large volume of contract staffing. So call today to discover how OpSource Staffing can streamline your contract workforce for the better. The toll-free number is 866-870-8133, 866-870-8133, and you can see online there OpSource Staffing. Just add a .com to the end of that, and that'll take you right to their website. All right, while the men's basketball season is completed here at Furman, the women will continue to play. They will participate in the 2018 WBI, the Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament, and will play Thursday at UNC Asheville, a 7 o'clock start at Kimmel Arena on the campus of UNC Asheville. The winner of that game will play the winner of Stetson and South Alabama either on Sunday or on Monday. There are 16 teams making up this field. It's divided into East and West regions. This is Furman's second appearance in this tournament since it originated in 2010, and their third postseason berth overall under head coach Jackie Carson. They played Auburn in the WNIT in 2014 and 2015, then played McNeese State in their first appearance at the WBI. The Paladins beat UNC Asheville earlier this year, 71-63. That was December 28th in Asheville. Leger Davidson had 31, a career high in that one. They are 17-13. Jackie Carson's Paladins are. UNC Asheville is 17-15. So again, 7 o'clock Thursday night at UNCA's Kimmel Arena, and the winner will play either Stetson or South Alabama on Sunday or Monday, depending. That is still up in the air, but that is what that side of the bracket looks like. So congratulations and good luck to Jackie Carson's club as they get some postseason experience. And you know what? When you got a young team like that, that's going to do nothing but help as they move forward. All right, with a couple of minutes left, I have talked about all of our sponsors, save one, and I wanted to save Ridge Media for last for a particular reason. Kenny and I met up here last week, Kenny Ridgel from Ridge Media, and we have struck a partnership that is going to see us working together for a long time as it turns out. And what he is doing for us is putting together a website, something that we've been after for a long, long time. And I'm proud to announce that that is going to happen now. And we are in the process of doing it. It's a 45 to 60-day process from start to finish. One of the things I did yesterday, remember at the top of the hour saying that I was working on some things. I had a bunch of paperwork to fill out so they could kind of get to know who we were, what we wanted, how they're going to help us with the search engine optimization and those kind of things. So I took the time yesterday to do all that, looked at some website templates. So we're working on all of this stuff that's going to ultimately come to fruition in the new DanScottShow.com website, which is also going to be a kind of a multifaceted site, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But I'm really, really excited about the chance to work with Kenny and his people, and I would encourage you to do the same. They are very, very thorough in the process. I can promise you that by the time you are done working with them and getting your website launched, if you need a new website, they will know everything there is to know about you and your business and be able to get you up and rolling and off and running at a great pace. They're a one-stop shop based in Greenville who does logo, print, and website design, as well as search engine optimization and marketing. And their clients range from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Locally owned, offices in Greenville, which is the base, also down in Charleston. You can call them today to schedule a free consultation. Will not cost you a thing. 864-354-6175, 354-6175. And you can tell them that I sent you. And pretty soon, we'll have the Dan Scott Show website that will be able to stand as a testament to what they do. And they will be prominently featured on that website as well. So thanks to Ridge Media, thanks to Kenny. I'm looking forward to working with he and his staff for a long time to come. All right, I will talk to you tonight from Rock Hill. Baseball, 5:45 pregame and 6 o'clock first pitch, Furman and Winthrop. Fox Sports 1440, our flagship station. The Campus FM 95.9. Also, FurmanPaladins.com. And the TuneIn radio app, search WPLS-LP. I'll tweet all that information out, and we will get it to you and be ready to roll. Furman and Winthrop tonight at Rock Hill, and look forward to bringing you all the action. Until then, I'm Dan Scott. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless you. So long, everybody.